Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from Weaponized Sloth Production Studio B. Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, and as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho. So how y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. So, we've got some stuff to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the election, the candidates, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to be talking about Veterans Day because that's coming up real quick, the 11th of November. We're going to be talking about Veterans Day and something you can do to support our veterans. But first, oh yeah, and by the way, tomorrow is daylight savings time. So don't forget, if you do not have a device that is connected to the interwebs and, the network, then you may have to manually change your time back an hour. Because, spring forward, fall back. And there we go. That's coming up tomorrow. And so, of which case, the rule is you got to stay up until like 2 o'clock in order to move your clocks back an hour. Don't forget to do that. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I got a few articles that I'm going to be talking about, but primarily the articles that are in the magazine that's available over at thehohoshow.com. And just click on that newsfeed tab. They'll see the magazine on Flipboard. And, there's like 40 some odd stories in there. Hold on. 47 stories. Holy crap. And now we're not going to be talking about all of them. In fact, there's only a few that I'm actually going to be, really looking at. But yeah, thehohoshow.com. Just click on the newsfeed tab. We're going to start with the story. Because a week or two ago, I got my prescription updated for my contacts and I got glasses and whatnot. So updated all that stuff. And I knew my prescription had changed a bit, and it did. It got worse, a quarter of a point. I was at negative 3.75. Now I'm at negative 4. So yeah, I'm basically blind. Now, growing up, and this was, I've been wearing glasses for like almost 40 years. 35 years, 36 years. I've been wearing glasses. I was in the 4th grade whenever I got glasses. So I've been wearing them for a while. I've been wearing glasses for a while. Started getting contacts whenever I was about 21. And, I made fun of my dad, because he whenever he had to get bifocals, he even got bifocal glasses, and it just, yeah. But he always took his glasses off whenever he was going to read something, and he put whatever it was he was reading, like right here, right in front of his face, not that far away. This way he can read it, That's what he did. And I used to make fun of him. And the other day I called Mom and I told her, I was like, karma has bit me in the ass. And then, explaining to her, making fun of Dad and whatnot. And after I got my new contacts in, I went to look at my watch and holy crap, everything's fuzzy. This is ridiculous. And so I, extended my arm out as far as I could, tilted my head back, to where I could still read it, and it was coming into view a little bit. So I come to realize I need reading glasses. So I picked me up a couple pair. Poking fun at Dad for needing reading glasses, for taking his glasses off, mind you, in order to read something, because even though he had bifocals, he didn't use the bifocals. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, yeah, there is that. And I thought about getting like bifocals and whatnot, but in all honesty, I got a dog, and several places we go, there's what we call landmines. Piles of crap that you don't want to step on. We call them landmines. And, there's a lot of places that I go to, not just in, the yard where I live, but, it's, but, places out and about and whatnot. So it's like, I want to not step in crap. And I figured that with bifocals, if I were to get those, looking down would totally screw me up. So I'm like, I can't do bifocals. Even if I got, the no line, which is what I would have to do, because if I got line bifocals, I'd be looking at the line all the time, and that would be bad. I don't see me doing real well with bifocals, line or no line. I mean, if it was a line, I'd be looking at that all the time. If it's, no line, then I would be totally screwed, because I'm looking down, checking for landmines, making sure I don't step in crap. So yeah, there's that, Oh, and good grief, talking about the dog, so in the last place that I lived, going to the backyard, wildlife was fair game, squirrels, a lot of squirrels, rabbits, a lot of rabbits. And, she would chase them, even birds, a lot of birds in the backyard, and she'd chase them, she'd try to see if she'd catch them. She never did. In the front yard, not fenced in, nothing. And she didn't chase things. She would stalk it a little bit, maybe, but she didn't just flat out chase them. And, I was very grateful for that. She did a good job. She's a herd animal. She's an Australian shepherd dog, Australian cattle dog. Let me get the right name in there. And, so she doesn't, she's used to paying attention to whatnot, so I don't have to worry about not putting her on a leash. I just let her roam, and there you go. Even whenever I'm out and about, at truck stops and rest areas, I just let her out. I don't worry about it. She's a good dog. She stays close, or at least she pays attention. So we were heading out, leaving the house, and she got halfway down the steps, and there's like 5 squirrels outside, running around, playing around, gathering nuts. Got to be careful of the squirrel with his nut. And she got virtually face to face with the squirrel. A squirrel was running towards, the tree, and, the squirrel stopped right in front of the steps. And I kid you not, the dog and the squirrel was 3 feet away from each other and just looking at each other. Marley didn't move. She was staying right there. And the squirrel just stopped, and he had a nut in his mouth. And then kept on going, normal speed. He wasn't running, he wasn't just walking, he was just going. And the dog just stayed put, waited for Rocket to, get past the steps. And then she continued on, not paying any more attention than that to the squirrel. It was just a stop. What are you doing? You're pretty close to me. And that was about the extent. I had to laugh. I'm like, wow, that's funny. And Rocket didn't care. Rocket was just with a nut in his mouth. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and get into the show. So, Veterans Day, we're going to start there, okay? Now, y'all know that I listen to various different, podcasts and radio shows. And one of the radio shows that I listen to over on Sirius XM, the Patriot Channel 125, is Andrew Wilkow, the Wilkow Majority. Okay. And for several years, like ever since I've been listening to the guy, every Veterans Day, he has an event, he has a fundraiser. And what he does is allow people to donate to various 501c3 charity organizations that are just amazing charity organizations. And he gives people a shirt with a minimum donation, and all the money goes to these charities. Okay. And there's quite a few different charities involved in this. They've even upped, charities that they're donating to this year. But, that's one of the things that he does every Veterans Day. That's what they do. Okay. Now, here's the thing. These are smaller charities that, they link arms with, and, it's an aspect of, smaller charities that, like, okay, every dollar spent to them, given to them, donated to them, every single penny goes to the cause. Okay, whatever it is that they're doing, it all goes to the cause. They don't have lawyers. They don't have advertising fees. They don't have, every single person that works for them. Everybody are volunteers. So every penny spent, every penny donated goes right to whatever it is that they're doing. Okay. Every penny of them. And, considering they don't have a national stage, they're not spending the money in advertising. One of the things that Andrew Wilkow does is he does this, charitable event in order to, give these charities a national stage to help boost, their donations that go to them and whatnot. And it's amazing. It really is. Okay. Now, you can go over to wilcowmajority.com, and like right up on the header, you got, the 2024 Vets Day donation t-shirt, because that's one of the things that he does. Okay. He's got, not only himself, but he has, some other people that they donate these shirts. So the shirts are 100% paid for, and you can get this shirt with a minimum $25 donation. Okay. Now, this money, it isn't tax deductible from Wilkow Majority. All right. So any donation you get, it is not tax deductible, because you will not get a 501c3 tax deductible form for donating to the charity. This is a pass-through that they do, and in return, you get a free t-shirt. So with the $25 donation, you get a free t-shirt. All you have to pay for is shipping and handling, and then all of that $25 donation goes right to the charity of your choice. And some of the charities that are in this year is Rockland Homes for Heroes, Horses for Heroes, Paws for Purple Hearts, Stop Soldier Suicide, Veterans Community Housing Coalition, Life War, Heroic Hearts Project. And those are just to name a few. There's several of them that are in there. Now, if you are needing, if you're going to be donating money and you're going to be needing a tax deductible form, then what you can do is go on over to these various organizations and donate there. They are 501c3 charitable organizations. So if that's what you want to do, you can do that, or you can head on over to wilcowmajority.com. And I'll put that in the show notes or whatever. And this way, you can donate however much you want to donate. You can get a free t-shirt, and it actually looks pretty cool. Let me go ahead and bring up what the t-shirt looks like. So here it is. It says Operation Close Air Support Veterans Day 2024. And it's a neat design. I like it. This is something that Andrew Wilkow designs himself. And, he's got backers that, make it to where the shirt is already paid for, and it is a free gift for donating a minimum of $25. And I think it's awesome. I support that. I support what he does. So I just wanted to let you guys know this way. If you wanted to support and get a free t-shirt to these various organizations, then you can go ahead and do that. And just head on over to willcountmajority.com. And then on Veterans Day, he has an event. He does interviews with various people from these organizations, and they talk about the donations. And I think this year he is wanting a minimum of, it's either $200,000 or $250,000. And right now, last time I heard, Friday, there was like $160,000 that has already been donated through willcountmajority.com. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. So I know times are tough, but if you can, support a vet, 501c3, various charities that every single penny goes to the cause. No administrative costs, no advertising costs. They're not paying money for some celebrity to promote them. None of that. No employees that they got to give money to. It's a great way to do it. It really is. Head on over to willcountmajority.com. See the list. Donate. All that good stuff. And thank you. Very much so. Thank you. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, yeah. The election. Yeah. The election. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We are 16 minutes in. Yeah, well, it's a little ridiculous, but at any rate, we're going to do that. We're going to take a quick break. When I return, we're going to be talking the election, which is just 3 days away. So just a couple minutes, and I will be right back. Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. And we are back. That's right. Tampon brand butt plugs. Yeah. You know, I did this before Tampon Tim was a thing. I really did. You know, Tampon Tim Waltz. I did that commercial quite a while ago, but I have to play it because it's funny and it points out how ridiculous it is to have tampons in a boy's bathroom. But that's Tampon Tim. So I really do hope that you got your vote in early. You banked your vote. I did. I think Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember what day, but I went ahead and I banked my vote. Now, here's the thing. I forgot to ask the person in the courthouse, how early voting went. I got to be honest with you. Last go around, whenever I went, the day that I went, there was quite a few other people that were there. I mean, it was a line. It was outside the room and it circled around. I mean, there was a lot of people. This year there was a flow of people, and there was whenever I went in there was 2 or 3 people that were in front of me, and then right behind me in there was 4 others, and it was funny because we were all waiting on paper ballots. That's what we were waiting on. They had an issue with the printer. They were trying to change out the toner and I guess having issues. I don't know why, but they were. And, they got it fixed. It didn't take, that terribly long. But, everybody was like, yeah, I want a paper ballot. And, it's funny because, even last go around, I guess with all of the issues that the voting machines were having and, with the just people didn't feel they weren't very positive about using the voting, about doing it digitally. They didn't feel comfortable doing that. And most people were doing the paper ballots. And I myself used a paper ballot. I'm like, I just feel better using a paper ballot, and that's just all there is to it. So I used a paper ballot. And it was, front and back, paper ballot. And I tell you what, I gotta laugh because on the paper ballot, I noticed, you had, Trump and Vance was on there, both names, president and VP. You had Harris and Walz on there, both of them, president and VP. But you also had, still on the ballot in Illinois, RFK Jr. No vice president named, and so you could vote for, 3 choices and then a write-in, and there you go. And I was like, that's kind of, he backed out of the race, right? And he didn't even name a VP, but yet they still had him on the ballot, even though, RFK Jr. put his support behind Trump. But I thought that was interesting that they still had him on the ballot. That's in Illinois. I know there's other states out there that, have the same thing going on, that RFK Jr. is still on the ballot. Illinois is one of them, but just throwing that out there to you, Now, I don't know if y'all's been paying attention the past week or so in the news regarding, the campaigns and whatnot, but there's been some pretty stinking funny stuff going on. There really has been, There's been some pretty good stuff. I tell you what, dude, this year, I'm loving it. I really am so far. Election day isn't here yet, but right now I'm loving it. And, Trump is just proving to me so much more how he is definitely the right candidate, the best person for the job. He's got the mentality. Some of the stuff that's been going on is absolutely hilarious. It really is. So not that long ago, you had, let's see, two different things that's like absolutely hilarious. Okay, so the first one, Kamala Harris mentioned in an interview that she had worked at McDonald's whenever she was going through college. And what was interesting was nobody could remember that she worked at McDonald's. And in fact, the McDonald's that she claimed to work for, they don't have any record of her working at McDonald's. And the only people that claimed that she worked at McDonald's was, of course, Harris. I believe a campaign person and maybe a couple of her friends, and those are the only people that actually claim that, oh yeah, she worked at McDonald's, absolutely, but nobody else can confirm that she worked at McDonald's. Not even the McDonald's that she's claiming to work at. So, I mean, it seems to me as though it's a lie and she's doing it. Well, I mean, the most important thing is, I come from a middle class household, and the lie that she keeps saying repeatedly. So, I mean, this just seems like another lie to make herself seem as though she's more relatable to the average everyday person, right? I mean, most of us, actually, I'd almost go as far as to say that all of us has worked at a job like that. We've all worked at, an entry-level job, an entry-level position, and McDonald's is the quintessential, everybody's worked at a McDonald's. I mean, that's just kind of, I've worked at a McDonald's. I'm sure most of you out there have worked at a McDonald's. And even if you haven't worked at a McDonald's, I'm sure you've worked at some sort of a fast food location. I mean, it's what people do. It's a good entryway into employment. Kind of learn the ins and the outs, the responsibility in it, the whole 9 yards, I'm sure that everybody has. But she's saying so to make herself more relatable. And what Trump did was absolutely hilarious. Because he went into a McDonald's and told the manager, I want to work here. I want to go ahead and get a job. Whole 9 yards. He served to people out of the drive-thru window. It was absolutely hilarious. Even mentioning, I think it was like 15 minutes that he did this or more. I'm not exactly sure how long, but he was like, I've worked at a McDonald's longer than Kamala Harris has. And it's just hilarious that he was there wearing the apron, his white shirt, wearing the apron, whole 9 yards, just being relatable to people. Now, granted, the whole thing was a campaign stunt. Absolutely it was. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. The whole thing was staged. It was a campaign stunt. And what was hilarious about this thing was the left's outrage over what Trump did. Because they're like, oh, this was just a campaign stunt. This whole thing was staged. And it's like, yeah, obviously. Thanks for pointing out what everybody already knew. Did you think we didn't know? Did you think we thought it was actually real that, President Trump, whom when he was president, never took a salary, a real estate investor, builder, he's not going to work at McDonald's in this stage of his life. Of course it's a campaign trick. Of course it was staged. Do you think we're all stupid? Apparently they do, because they figured it was their duty to point out all this. And it's like, okay. But what was sad about this, wasn't just the left's reaction, which was bad enough. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty pathetic, how they went about with it. But it was also the attacks that happened to that McDonald's because of this. Because the left got their panties all up in a bunch, and then they were, it was accused of they had E. coli or Ebola. No, I forget which one. E. coli outbreak in various McDonald's, and, trying to get it shut down, because they were unhappy that a McDonald's had the gall to allow President Trump to have a campaign event at their location, and they were absolutely pissed about it. So they went out and they attacked the McDonald's. Now the great thing is, Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, they have gotten behind Trump. They've gotten behind that McDonald's and has been patroning that location because they had the balls to support Trump. And people have been supporting their effort, supporting what they've done And that is absolutely amazing to me. It really is. That part is absolutely hilarious. And then recently, and this one was hilarious. It cracked me up too. I thought it was so funny. Biden called Trump supporters garbage. You remember that? Earlier this week, calling Trump supporters garbage. But what did Trump do? And I hope at this rally, I hope y'all's seen this. I really do. But Trump showed up to his rally in a garbage truck. Oh, he did. He showed up in a garbage truck and he was wearing the vest, and it was hilarious. He got up on stage and he's talking about it. He's making fun of himself because, he's an older guy. All right. And he's like, I got to climb up into this thing. It's like, holy crap. It's like, way the heck up there? How am I supposed to get up there? These steps are like, holy crap. And he's making fun of himself, right? He's like, yeah, so I got up in it. We drove like 2 feet, and then I got out, and then I'm like, okay, I want my jacket back. Give me my jacket. Give me that. And he was like, and their campaign people was like, oh, no. You really should walk out there wearing the vest, because he was wearing a vest. A safety vest, his reflective safety vest, his high vis safety vest. He was wearing that. And he's like, I'm not wearing this. This is going to be ridiculous. I'm not wearing that vest. No, I'm not doing it. And they're like, okay, fine. We'll go ahead and get you your jacket. Although that vest makes you look thinner. And he's like, ooh. All right, then I'll wear the vest. It makes me look thinner. I'm wearing this vest. I may never take it off. I may wear it all the time now because it makes me look thinner. And he's out there. He's talking about it, making fun of himself, making fun of the situation. The man's a master. Absolutely hilarious. Their attacks on him aren't fazing him. They're not fazing his supporters. They keep calling him Hitler. They keep calling him a fascist. They keep calling him a xenophobe. They keep calling him a tyrant. They keep calling him all these names, that he's going to destroy the democracy and everything else. And they keep doing it, and they keep doing it, and nobody's paying attention anymore. It's like the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, nobody's going to believe you. Regardless as if in time he does, which it's like, dude, okay, look. If President Trump was going to be a tyrant, if he was going to destroy the democracy, which we're not a democracy, we are a constitutional republic, hello. That's what we are. Wouldn't he have done that during his last term, between 2016 and 2020, or 2021 and 2022? Wouldn't he have done it then 2021 and 2025? Yeah, there we go. Wouldn't he have done it then? If that's what his goal was, to be a tyrant. I mean, he did the least amount of tyrant things out there. They call him, a fascist whenever he's trying to shrink the size of government, give more power to the states, cut regulation, all these things that he's doing. That's not what a fascist does. I mean, that's what the Democrat Party's doing. They're trying to, centralize power to the federal government, and they're trying to, seize more power and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, they're the ones who are acting like tyrants and fascists. It's not coming from Trump. It's not coming from the Republican side. They're still doing the whole, accuse the other side of what it is that they are doing. How Trump has been running his campaign has been pretty phenomenal. I'm a fan of what's going on. I mean, just him wearing the safety vest, showing up in a freaking garbage truck, for crying out loud. That was epic. Absolutely hilarious. President Trump has been breaking all the rules. And I've been paying attention to polls, poll numbers and whatnot. And what I've been seeing is very, very hopeful. And I mean, there's that possibility that he may end up winning over 40 states this year. That's huge. I think like every swing state right now, Trump is polling ahead. Maybe one, Harris is polling ahead. There are states that are in play that haven't been in play in quite some time. That's amazing. You know, hat tip to Dan Bongino. One of the things that he says is that, you know, or a question that he asks is it bad enough yet? And it seems like it is. You know, I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I know last time I was like, oh, Trump's got it in the bag. There's going to be a red wave. It's going to be epic and amazing. And the problem was the cheating. And yes, there was cheating that happened. And if you think they're not going to try this time around, you got another thing coming, because here's the scary part. All right. Now, granted, there's been a lot of headway that has been made in trying to make the election more secure. Try to give the election some integrity so that this way, whatever result we get, we can feel confident that it is at least accurate. I mean, that's my thing. Okay. That's totally my thing. It's like whoever wins, I want to know that it was a free and fair election, that the only people that voted were the people that are supposed to vote, that is American citizens, and that's it. One person, one vote, and that's it. No vote early, vote often, no illegal aliens voting because they don't have the right to vote. That's not what it's illegal for them to vote, okay? Forgive me for pointing out the obvious, but it is. Dead people can't vote. You can't vote in multiple jurisdictions. If you move, then your old address is no longer valid. You can't vote from that place. These are things that are just common sense. To break these is election fraud and criminal. But that's what we want as Republicans, right? That's what we want as conservatives. That's what we want as libertarians. We want to know that whomever the victor is, that the election process had integrity, that we can rest assured, win or lose, that it was fair and without fraud. And you would think that would be too much to ask, right? Because what was it? Virginia, I think is what it was. You know, they removed a bunch of illegals from the ballots, and it's like the federal government sued Virginia for taking those voter names off the voter rolls. It's like, look, they can't vote. It's illegal for them to be on the voter rolls. Why are you suing? And they're like, oh, well, you know, this is going to disenfranchise people. It's like, no, it's not. Illegals can't vote. It's illegal for them to vote. And here you're suing a state for making headway into making the election fair, accurate, and to make it as free from fraud as they possibly can. And the federal government's like, yeah, we want that fraud. Because isn't that what it amounts to? Why else would the federal government, the Biden-Harris administration, why else would they sue a state for trying to put integrity into their election if they didn't want fraud? Why would they not allow states to clean the voter rolls using the USPS information on address change forms and death certificates to take people whom have moved off the voter rolls, people whom have died off the voter rolls? Why would the federal government intervene and say, no, you can't do that if they didn't want fraud? It's because they do. But this time around, like I said earlier, we've made some headway. We've made a lot of headway. You know, we've done some things to help out. You know, there's more people that's going to be, you know, watching and paying attention and going to make it a lot harder for them to steal the election, but they're still going to try. They're absolutely still going to try. One of the things that I've heard from Pennsylvania is it may take them a week to figure out who won Pennsylvania. It's like, why? You know, you have Florida, who has way more voters and ballots to count than what Pennsylvania does, and they can do it the same day. You'll know that night who won Texas. The same thing goes for Florida. Way more people that are voting, way more ballots to count, way more things to go through, and yet they're going to be able to do it and know by end of day what the problem is with Pennsylvania. You have third world countries that can count their votes with way more voters than Pennsylvania. What the problem is. Why are you claiming that it may take a week to count the ballots? That's ridiculous. Why are they still demanding that they use mail-in ballots whenever, baking powder, there's no COVID this time around? You know, and I mean, here's the thing, man, and I'm sorry for pointing out the obvious again, but, you know, it's 4 years between presidential elections. Midterms happen every single 2 years, okay? Every 2 years, there's an election. Is 2 years not enough time to make plans for how to get out and vote? Early voting in person goes on for quite a while, you know, for at least a month in most every single jurisdiction. In some states, today is the last day for early voting. Have you voted yet? Did you go? Did you vote in person? There's no reason not to. And so many people, Trump, Bongino, Wilkow, David Webb, Matt Locke, a Voice of the Working Man podcast, everybody is telling you to get out, bank your vote early because they're banking on shenanigans happening on election day. They're talking about DDoS attacks. They're talking about having riots. There's been shenanigans going on already by people who claim to be, election enforcement people that have, kicked people out of voting lines early. That's voter fraud. There's a lot of shenanigans going on. Voter fraud has already taken place now. Is anything going to happen? I don't know. I would like to say yes. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything happen yet. Now, I mean, granted, there's been some headway with, court cases on saying that, oh, yeah, Virginia could clean out the voter rolls. That's what needs to happen. Dead people can't vote if you changed your jurisdiction. You can't vote in your old jurisdiction. You need to re-register. And oh, yeah, by the way, illegal aliens cannot vote. It's illegal for them to do so. So absolutely, they can boot them off the voter rolls. And if you have a problem with this, well, then obviously voter fraud. So awesome. I'm very hopeful to see these things going on and taking place. I heard a guy call into, I think it was a Wilkow Majority yesterday, talking about how he's going to be a poll worker. And hello, Dave, over there in YouTube land. Good to see you, sir. He says, how many years has it been since the Hanging Chads election? This should not be an issue anymore. Exactly. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be an issue. And why there's so much fighting going on about who can vote, who can't vote, it's ridiculous to me. It really is. The only reason why they refuse to clean up voter rolls, why they keep on wanting to give illegal aliens IDs and voter IDs is because they intend on election fraud. But unlike last go around, we're watching. And we're watching close. Now, I don't know what you plan on doing on election day. I don't know where you plan on being, but again, y'all know that I am a fan of, several podcasters, and there's two in particular that I highly recommend on election day you go and check out. Those are Dan Bongino, The Bongino Show. Check that out over on Rumble. Head over there. They are going to be going live, I believe, 6:30 Eastern time. So check out that. And then the other place to go to is Louder with Crowder. Rumble on Rumble. And, of course, that's over on Rumble, rumble.com, just Louder with Crowder. And I believe he's going live at 7 Eastern. Again, 7 Eastern. And that's when they're going live. And Crowder has said that they're going to be doing this until it has been decided who the president is. Hopefully that doesn't take a week. But they're going to be going live. They're going to be, and here's the thing, and I highly recommend. I don't know exactly what Bongino has in store, but I know he has some people that are going to be, showing up on the program, doing interviews with them. A lot of people in the know. I know he's got some contacts to where, he could find out what's going on the ground. And they are going to be doing a cross stream, which is bad in Ghostbusters, but apparently you can cross the streams with Steven Crowder. So both of them are going to be going live. And I know that Crowder has talked about a lot of stuff that they have done to combat the misinformation in the legacy media, because they're going to have boots on the ground in all battleground states. They're going to have boots on the ground in various counties, so that this way they can know live what's going on in all these various places. They have, and this has cost them millions of dollars in order to get all this information, put it together. They have a website. I forget what that website is. electionintegritymap.com, I think is what it is. And you can go there, look at the map, get the details of what's going on where, a lot like, a race to 270 or whatever that one is, but is what they're doing is trying to get, it's not just compete with mainstream legacy media. It's to shame them. Have all the information that they have in order to accurately and up-to-date report on what's going on during the election in these various states. Last time, they got away with a lot of stuff. And one of the things that, Crowder had stated was that, they knew there was shenanigans going on. They knew that there was some stuff that looked really, really shady, but they couldn't really do anything about it because all they can do is base what they were saying off of what, legacy media was saying. And so this time he's like, that's not going to happen. This time we're coming prepared. And he spent some money to do this. I highly recommend going to one of those two places. That's where I'll be at this Tuesday, watching what goes on. And America's watching. The world is watching. Hell, what am I saying? Dave put in there, he goes, I already voted. I'm getting my tires rotated on election day. I'll try to check in with Bongino or Crowder. Awesome. Post links if you have. I think I've subscribed to him on Apple or somewhere else. Yeah, it's awesome. I know with, and I'll do that. I'll post a link to that in, let me go ahead and, okay, now these are the Rumble links that I'm going to post in here for both Bongino and Louder with Crowder. So that's Ben Shapiro. That's not the right one. Okay, Steven Crowder. Click on that one. Open a new tab. There you go. Steven Crowder. Oh, and he's even got the election live stream of the century, Rumble on Rumble. There you go. But the URL is rumble.com/Steven Crowder. and copy and paste, and there, that one is. That again is for Steven Crowder. And then the other one, let me go ahead and close that one down. And thanks, Dave, by the way. That was a good idea by, posting the link in here. I appreciate that. This one is rumble.com/Bongino. Let me go ahead and copy that one and head over here and paste. There you go. There are both of those links, and those are for the Rumble pages. And of course, head on over to rumble.com and subscribe to The Ho-Ho Show. Yeah, go ahead and do that, because that would be absolutely awesome. So there you go. Those are the things for that. Steven Crowder and then Bongino. And that is, of course, at rumble.com. And by the way, while I'm on that, I don't know about y'all's, okay? But the older I get, I'm kind of getting a little cantankerous. I'm like a couple steps away from get off my lawn. I mean, I'm like right there, okay? I don't like games. I don't like the shenanigans. I don't like any of that crap. I really don't. And with how things have been going recently, it's really made me a little cantankerous, okay? You have people that are still in jail regarding, the January 6th. You have people that have gone to prison for, claiming election fraud and whatnot. And, it's been frustrating, seeing these things happen to Republicans, and then whenever Democrats do the same thing, nothing happens, right? And I'm at that point, it's time to be petty. It really is. And I know that my channel has had a couple strikes over there on YouTube because I dared to speak the truth, which is one of the reasons why I am over there on Rumble. I'm over there on X. I'm doing that because these places are free speech platforms. I highly recommend heading over to Rumble if you want the video side of things. I highly recommend heading over to X for the same thing because, here's the thing that is terrifying the left at this particular point in time. They are no longer in control of the narrative. Since Elon Musk took over Twitter and it is now X, the left are freaking out because they're not in control of the narrative. People are able to go over on X and, get the information because Elon Musk believes in free speech. It was funny because whenever these things were going on with Twitter and Facebook, the left was like, oh, if you don't like it, start your own. Well, Trump did. Social media, head over there if you want a free speech platform. Elon Musk bought Twitter, rebranded it X.com. They threw a fit. They're trying to shut down X. They tried to shut down Truth Social. I've had videos removed because I dared to tell the truth over on YouTube. And I know this time around, I'm going to be speaking some truth. Not only am I going to be speaking truth, I'm going to be calling out some Bravo Sierra. Let me tell you, I am. I'm going to be heading over there. I'm going to be listening to what people are saying. Whenever I see these people, assuming that Trump wins, which I'm very hopeful, no red wave talk. I made that mistake last go around. It's like, oh, he's going to win, red wave, all this other kind of stuff. Dave asks, he goes, are you live on Rumble at the same time you're live on YouTube? Absolutely, yes, I am. They've made things so much easier on Rumble to go live. And yes, I am live on Rumble at the same time I'm live on YouTube. In fact, I am on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Rumble all at the same time, multi-streaming. I use OBS and Restream.io. Yeah, Restream.io in order to do that. So yeah, I am on Rumble at the same time I'm on YouTube. And here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to be stirring the pot this election. If Trump wins, That's an if, but it looks pretty good that he will. But no red wave talk. I'm not making that prediction. I ain't making that mistake, twice in a row. Not going to do it. Maybe 3 times in a row. Not going to do it. I'm going to be stirring the pot. And if I hear these people saying, the election was stolen, the same thing that happened in 2016 whenever, Hillary Clinton didn't win. She never did shut up about the election was stolen, election was stolen, election was stolen. She still says the election was stolen. Well, that goes against, they put in there and goes, same here, no red wave here. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. No red wave talk. I don't want to jinx it. But I had several videos shut down because I dared to claim and state that, there were shenanigans that happened. I didn't trust the election in 2020. I did not trust the results. Why? Way too much suspicion of fraud, and none of the court cases has seen the light of day because the information, even though the court cases, or even though the information was presented to the court said, no, you can't. Can I post the Rumble link? Absolutely. Yeah, no, that ain't going to work. There we go. And that's not what I was wanting to do. Working on that, Dave. Here we go. Here it is. Oh, that's not even right. Maybe that is right. I don't know. Here is this one. I don't know if that's necessarily correct. It should be rumble.com / the Ho-Ho Show. It should be that, but if that doesn't work, that first link should, or at least maybe, I'm assuming. I don't know if that's, how my link shows it as. I don't know. But it should be that. Rumble.com / the Ho-Ho Show. And that should take you right to it. Otherwise, you can go to, and I do have a link in the description below. It's link.thehohoshow.com / Rumble. That'll take you right there. In fact, let me put that in there. Link.thehohoshow.com / Rumble. There you go. I know that one will work. That's the one that I set up right there. That one will work. Anyway. So people are going to be watching. But I'm going to be petty this year. If I see anybody out there trying to deny the results of the election on, assuming Trump wins, I'm going to report their pages because I was shut down numerous times. Hey, I'm here now. Awesome, Dave. Good to see you over there in Rumble. I just happened to be looking up at it, and there it is. So, but yeah. What link did you use, by the way? Let me know in the chat. That'd be awesome. So, I've had videos shut down. Well, see, here's the thing. I very much suspect that, especially come the election, because I know that there's throttling happen. I know that they're shadow banning people. I know that they are restricting people, restricting the shows from getting out there. I know that they are. I know that they're doing, shenanigans. I really do. I know this is happening, and I know, I'm honestly surprised that my YouTube channel hasn't been shut down already. I'm very surprised about that. That's why I've got a couple backups over there. But why have a backup whenever I could just stream to a platform and upload my videos to a platform that I know I don't have to worry about it? And that's why I'm here over on Rumble. I don't have to worry about it. Because after this election, especially with calling off the shenanigans that the left has been doing, they're not going to like conservative responses to this stuff. They're going to shut me down. And that's the thing. There's a place you can go, free speech platform. You ain't got to worry about it. That's why I'm here. I know my channel is going to get shut down. It's only a matter of time. Until they do, I'm going to go ahead and continue streaming to, YouTube. I'm surprised they haven't shut down my Facebook account yet. So, the first one I posted is the one you used. Okay, cool. It worked. Glad it did. So yeah, that's why I'm over here. So I'm going to be petty. And I invite you to be petty too. Be petty. Be petty. You see somebody, especially over on YouTube and any other place, be petty. If Trump wins and they try to deny the results of the election, saying that, it's invalid and he isn't really the president, it's fraud, the whole 9 yards, report him. Dave puts, is it petty or particular? I don't know. But I'm being petty. I'm going to report him. Because if it's wrong for me to deny the results of the election for 2020, whenever there was obvious fraud going on in favor of Biden, just pointing out the obvious, then it's fraud if the Republicans do the same thing, trying to, discredit a Trump victory. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to report channels. I'm going to do my best to demand that I'm going to do my best by demanding that these channels get shut down. These articles get shadow banned, because if it was wrong for me to do it, promoting violence, they told me, you can't do that. I'm going to be petty. Absolutely, I'm going to be petty. So head on over to Bongino Show, Steven Crowder, for this election. Get all kinds of stuff in there. I like particular. I like precise. Not to be word police, but if words ever matter, and they do, I want to use the best words possible. I agree with you, sir. I really do. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break. And when I return, we're going to bring this thing in for a good, smooth landing. Just a couple minutes, and I will be right back. Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you? Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. And we are back. Oh yeah. So I'm getting old, right? I'm getting old. It happens, as you get older, you get old, your body starts breaking down and stuff, and I hurt myself. Young man problems, you hurt yourself, you fall off your bike, you jumped, you did something, you got flung off the merry-go-round, and that's how you hurt yourself. As a kid, the stupid things you do to hurt yourself make more sense. They make you feel like, yeah, they really do. As an adult, you hurt yourself by sneezing. You throw out your back. You hurt yourself by you took a step wrong. You zigged when you should have zagged. Instead of leading with your right foot, maybe you should have led with your left foot. And that's how you hurt yourself as an adult. Is kind of ridiculous. Just saying. So the place that I work, we do grain milling rolls. It's, they basically look like big oversized rolling pins. They range in weight and size from I guess some of the smaller ones are like 100 pounds, maybe 50 pounds, like little bitty things. And they range all the way up to, what's the bigger ones? You can only put like two of them on a truck. So like 20,000 pounds a piece. And that's a big freaking roll, 10 tons. Holy cow. That thing's huge. It's huge. So I was kicking rolls that were like, 700 pounds a piece. And I felt a pop in my knee. I was like, ooh, and that hurt, and the bad thing is it's my bad knee. So why I was kicking rolls with my bad knee, I don't know, but I was. And so now today, and probably for the next week, I'm going to be, wearing a knee brace, which is bad because I have to wear a knee brace. I've got like 4 different ones, varying support levels. And, I just have to rely on a knee brace when I go to work. Just ticks me off. I'm not that old, but my body says otherwise. Crap. It happens. So this year, Veterans Day, if you have a SiriusXM subscription, check out the Will Cow Majority, channel 125, SiriusXM. And his show is noon to 3 Eastern. Check that out. This Memorial Day, he is doing the Memorial Day event. Head on over to willcowmajority.com. That is willcowmajority.com. Check out the various places that you could donate to this year over there. And again, that is to give these various places a national stage so that this way they can increase, the money that they can get, so that this way they can help out more people. Head on over to Will Cow Majority. Find out the different charities that you can contribute to. And again, every single penny spent goes directly to the cause. These people have, these charities, 501c3s have no lawyers, no advertising, no employees. Everybody is volunteer. Every single penny donated to them goes right to the cause, whatever it is that they're doing. And that to me is pretty stinking awesome. But if you are needing the, if you're needing the refund, go over to, all these various charities and donate to them directly, or you can head on over to willcowmajority.com and donate a minimum of $25. And as a gift for that donation, You get a free t-shirt, which looks pretty stinking amazing. I've already showed you earlier on the show. Looks pretty amazing. Check it out. WillCounMajority.com. And you can use that as a portal. WillCounMajority.com is not a 501c3. They don't have the accountants. They don't, do the 501c3. They don't have the lawyers. They just operate as a pass-through. But to thank you for your donation, you get a free t-shirt. All you pay is shipping and handling, and that is with a $25 minimum donation. And there you go. So check that out. This year for the election, Tuesday, 3 days away. Go vote. I hope you've banked your vote early, just in case shenanigans happen before the vote or before Election Day. Go vote. Vote early. And by the way, on that, the early voting this year for Republicans, not to say that they have been voting Republican, but Republicans that have been voting, the numbers this year look absolutely amazing. They really do. It looks absolutely amazing. Ahead in so many different places. Trump gets the vote out. There's a lot of people that vote early. They vote that don't normally vote. Trump brings people to the polls. He does. So I'm hopeful. No red wave talk. I'm hopeful. I really am. Because the Democrats, okay, cheating aside, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Let me, I'm just going to say it, all right? I'm going to be brave. I'm just going to say it. Trump's going to win this year. Period, hands down, end of story. It's going to be a landslide. He's going to win like 45 out of 50 states. It's not even going to be close. The problem is the cheating. That's where the problem is. The cheating, the fraud. The people who not only vote early but vote often. It's going to be the people who vote in the precinct that they're not supposed to be voting in. It's going to be the dead people that vote. It's going to be the illegals that vote. There's going to be cheating. We know there's going to be cheating, and that's where the problem is. Trump's going to win hands down. But how much cheating is there going to be? That's why you got to get out and vote. That's why you got to vote early. That's why you got to do that so that this way you can put enough of a buffer, enough of a space, as many people come out and vote as absolutely possible so that this way they have to cheat so ridiculous, so much in order to save it to where Kamala Harris can become president that it's going to be obvious to everybody who's paying attention, and there's going to be a lot of people paying attention. That's why I recommend heading on over to Rumble/Steven Crowder. Check out that show on Election Day. He spent a lot of money to have as much information as possible, just as much information that legacy media has, people on the ground that'll be watching this stuff and reporting in live time what's going on. Head on over, check that out. People are watching. They're not going to get away with it the same way that they did last time, because last time we didn't have any tools at our disposal that we could use to say shenanigans. This year is going to be different. Pay attention. There's going to be cheating. We got to make sure that we bank enough votes that people come out in force, that we make that gap so big that there's no way that they can close that gap to ink out a victory using fraud. That's what it amounts to. That's the bottom line. Trump's going to win. Hands down. He's going to win 45 out of 50 states. It's not even going to be close. We haven't seen a landslide like this since Reagan, and I think he won 49 out of 50 states? It was ridiculous. This year's going to be just as bad. Just as bad. But the problem is going to be the cheating. And we got to make it hard for them to cheat. That's why you got to get out and vote. Even in a state like mine, I live in Illinois. We call it California. That's what we call it. All right. The state is red. The whole state is red. But it's got a couple spots that are blue. That's Chicago and I think Peoria, and those are the two counties that are blue, and that's it. It's two little bitty blue islands in a sea of red, and that's what I got living here in California. That's what I got. And it's frustrating because the entire state is red. We all were, it's a red state, man. It really is. But it's those two big pockets of blue that make it a Democrat state, and I hate it. I really do. But even in a state like Illinois, when you know the state is red because of the big population centers, it's still important to get out and vote. It's still important to bank your vote. It's still important to make your voice heard because this can help bolster the popular vote. This could even help swing the state. Because I'll tell you what, in Illinois, there's a lot of people that are ticked about what's going on. A lot of people in Chicago are seeing that the tax dollars that they spend, the tax dollars that are stolen from us, the American people, the money that we work hard for. And with all the inflation going on, it's freaking horrible. Why are you taking all my damn money? Give it back. But all that money that we spend, we, especially in times like this, we demand a return on our investment. And what are we seeing? Are we seeing a return on our investment? Ask the people over in North Carolina if they're receiving a return on their investment for all the money that they spend in taxes, and the answer is going to be no. It's been ridiculous that the government just left these people to die. And that's what's happened. Dave Pedender goes, then I live in New Yornia. I like it. I think upstate is most red, but New York City is mostly blue. Not exactly 100% on that. But, well, you're right, actually, because, a lot of the state around, and I haven't looked at the map, but, I've been in, around New York a lot. And I tell you what, New York is a beautiful state. It really is. I love New York. I don't like their politics, but I love New York. It's a gorgeous state. It really is. So is California, really. I mean, it's a very gorgeous state. Upstate New York, oh, it's beautiful. Really is. Mountains, Woodson. Woodson is awesome. Same thing in New York. A lot of beautiful. Oh, New York's awesome. But even in a blue state, let your voice be heard. Get out and vote. It's not too late. Get out and vote. Don't let them tell you that the lines have been that the lines are shutting down. That's one of the other things that's happened in different counties. People showing up and saying that, oh, the early voting's been shut off and whatnot. But yeah, just don't do that. That's my point. Okay, don't just even if you're somebody whom has waited for election day to vote, then just go. Make a day of it, however long it takes in the lines. Just make sure you get your vote in. Let your voice be heard. Get her done. Get her done. Do that. That's really all I got for you guys, all right? That's it. Relatively short show. Get out and vote. Pay attention. Watch what's going on. Head over to Rumble to either Dan Bongino show or Steven Crowder and watch the election coverage over there. You may be surprised this year. Trump's going to win. Hands down. He's going to win the vote. But the cheating is what we got to watch out for. The cheating is what we got to watch out for. And it could happen. They might be able to cheat enough to steal the election from Trump. It could happen. It's happened before. It could happen again. Be mindful. And here's the other thing before I take off, okay? And I don't want to scare you. I don't want to we know this year that there's going to be some shenanigans, okay? If Trump does end up winning, if they're not able to steal the election, you're going to see riots in the street. They're already talking about it. They're already claiming it, okay? Be mindful. Be wary. Make sure you have some type of protection on you that you can defend yourself. Please be careful out there, especially in, population centers. It's, just be mindful. All right, be careful. They're setting the stage. There's going to be riots, violence. Just protect yourself, okay? Dave puts in here, he goes, it's amazing. I would never want the Republicans or conservatives to cheat. Yeah, exactly. I just want the best candidates to run. Absolutely. Be honest, be truthful, be yourself. Yeah. And that's the reason why President Trump is doing so good. And that's the reason why Harris is just failing miserably. Kamala Harris can't be herself. She's not genuine. Nobody knows what she stands for because all she does is speak in platitudes. What are you going to do about inflation? I grew up in a middle class family. I was so proud. My mama was so proud when she bought her first house. What are you going to do about the fuel prices? I grew up in a middle class family. I was so proud when my mama was able to buy her first home. The answers are the same. All she speaks about is in platitudes. She doesn't actually answer the question. All she does is give a talking point, and that's it. That's what she does. Dave puts in and goes, there will be riots whoever wins. The Dodgers just won the World Series, and apparently that's a decent enough reason to riot. Crazy. Yeah, and you're right. It's like I do. There's definitely that chance. That you're going to see riots no matter who wins. But Republicans, conservatives, we, for the most part, we don't do that like the Democrats do. We just don't. We're more adult about things, She says, let's understand the significance. Yeah. And she does. She says that a lot. But that's one of the reasons why Harris is doing so bad is she is not genuine. And she isn't. And Trump is. You look at what he did with, the campaign event that he held at the McDonald's, the campaign event that he had recently, where he showed up, wearing a safety vest and a garbage truck. The man's genuine. He made it work because he's genuine. He made it work because he cares about the American people. And he has done stuff in his administration to help out our lives personally. And people know that. People know that. We feel that. We really do. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. That is it. Get out and vote. Watch what goes on Tuesday. Please. Y'all just have yourself a great one. And I will see you in the next one. This has been The Ho Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.